Smith, I'd like to give you a layout of how we want to import transactions into cash management. So first I'm going to describe how we import transactions into the general ledger. You've done some import with the bank recon in cash management. I just want to show you how general ledger works, and we want to keep it relatively close to this particular transaction set. So let's say you want to import a GL transaction. One nice thing is you would not know as a user what the format of a GL transaction is. So one thing you can do is you can go into any GL transaction and you can say export the details. Now that's going to take this transaction and it's going to put it into an Excel file, right, that has the actual details of how this thing should look should you want to import it into the system. So it's coming up on my screen. I'm going to drag it over. Once I hit export, it created this file that shows me exactly how I want to import the transaction, right? So then, if I was a user, I could take this transaction. I could say, oh, it's said $10. I want it to be 20, and I want this to be 20, and I want to call this, transaction cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this as my desktop, right? Save as on this PC. I'm going to save this out to my desktop, and then I'm going to import it, right? And so once I import it, right, that'll allow me to see what happens. So I go ahead and save this off to my desktop, right? And then now what I want now I have an import file, right? So basically the first thing you need to do is create an export that will be able to be changed and then imported right back in. That way we don't have to document the help. You just basically use the export and then you can do the import. So then we need an import screen inside of cash management that will allow us to import transactions, right? So the import screen will let you browse and select a file. Now, you also have this button here that normally checks whether the account is active or inactive, and if it's historical import, then you don't care because you could potentially import into inactive accounts because it's a historical transaction. So anyway, that's part one, right? So part one is to create this import and then this file, and then browse for this file, right? So you go ahead and let it browse the network for this file, right? And I can go into the desktop and I can, or downloads maybe, wherever I had it, downloads. And I could do it by date. Hang on one sec.